Thanks, Preston. Coach, let's just kind of get it out of the way. The reports are that Christian is doubtful for this week. Is he still day to day, or is he looking more and more likely not?
Yeah, it looks like. Oh, that sounds weird. Sorry. Yeah, it looks like Christian probably won't play. So we'll, we'll see. It's not. I wouldn't say that that's 100%, but I would say that it looks like he's pretty much out for this week, and we'll see how it is next week.
Let's go to David Newton.
Hey, Matt, how does Jeremy react to what you guys have done as far as treatment to his knee? Looked like he was doing better this week than he was last week.
Yeah, he practiced. He was a full participant in practice other than the reps. We limited the reps. I'm sorry, there's an audio thing here that's glitching, so forgive me. But so we limited his reps, but he was full speed while he was out there. So I expect him to be. I expect him. Again, we have to see how he responds tomorrow. But if he played today, I would expect him to go play.
Let's go to Joe Person and then Scott Fowler.
Hey, Matt, we were told or heard that Christian was getting a second opinion. Any concern that this could be a season-ending situation?
I'm not anticipating that. I'm anticipating it from what I know being much more sort of day-to-day, week by week than that. But those are doctors, and they have to do what's right. What's right for him, and Christian has to make the best decision for him. So I have not entertained that thought till you said it.
Matt, two things. One real quick. Can you tell us any more about what exactly is wrong with Christian's shoulder?
I don't even know that I could begin to go into it. I think it's just an AC, AC joint issue in his shoulder. So it's I guess just a separation of the. I'm sorry, guys. The volume here, the audio is terrible. Give me 1 second. Is that good? Can they hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
All right. Sorry. Yeah. Just a AC issue. Much more beyond that. I would probably leave up to him to talk about.
Let's go to
okay.
I think he had a second part of that question I didn't get to. I'm sorry because of the audio.
Oh, no problem. I just wanted to ask you that the first Tampa Bay game seems a long time ago now. As you think back to that game, that was one of the few you guys didn't finish in a one possession way. What are your main memories of that game? What went wrong?
Yeah, we had 4 turnovers. I think we had 9 penalties, 9 negative plays on offense, and we had we gave up 5 sacks and 23 pressures. So I went through those numbers today. Like, we did not control the line of scrimmage. And that was the first drive. We were driving the ball. We turned the ball over. They scored. We went down. We turned the ball over deep in our own territory. They scored the next play. Went in at halftime down 21-0 and then crawled back. I mean, fought back, got it to 21-14. They scored. We scored them again to make it 24-17. So it was a one-possession game. And then, we onside kicked it instead of kicking it deep, and they scored. And then, how exactly, and then it finished 31-17. They popped that long one at the end. But so, there were a lot of things that we didn't do well, especially up front, protecting the quarterback and running the football. Coach Bowles' defense did a nice job that day. Brady had like 200 yards passing in the first half. I think we were better in the second half. But the main thing was that, we beat ourselves with turnovers and bad plays. And I think that game was a sort of an early turning point for us. We came back, and I think since then the guys have played much more cohesive, team-oriented football since then.
All right. Sorry for cutting you off there, Scott. Let's go to Elena Gutsenberg and then Skylar Callahan.
Matt, a couple questions for you. First, I guess just getting Reggie back and now on the active roster, what is your expectation with not having Christian Sunday for what his role could be?
I think that'll come throughout the course of the week in the game planning. Reggie's a good back. We were really excited about what he was doing before he got hurt. it's his first day back out there. My first time seeing him. I just walked off the field. I haven't seen the tape yet, so we'll have to see, how he looked, how he responds tomorrow, and then determine what role best fits him.
And then I know today was Justin's first day back out there, but is your expectation that he may be available Sunday, or is it kind of like you to see how the week goes?
I think his is a little different just because it's a rib, so, some of those ankle foot ones you have to kind of see, do they swell up, not. I think his has just been, once it's healed, and he could handle the pain. He was out there today. He wanted to make contact. He wanted to be physical. So I would anticipate him being available unless, something changes dramatically.
And then one last one for you, sorry. I guess if Russell, now that he missed practice today, I know it's early in the week, but were you happy with how Dennis Daly played Sunday? And would your expectation be that he'd be the next guy up again if Russell can play?
I thought that Dennis played really well. He had the ankle sprain, so I was not sure how much he'd do today. He went out there, he practiced the whole practice, so it'll just depend on his health. And how he feels as the week goes on.
Hey, Matt, with AG now out, is Jermaine Carter a guy that you see that can maybe play both Sam and the Mike? And how did you feel like he played last week when he got a little bit more snaps under his belt?
Yeah, I thought Jermaine was a real bright spot last week. Played great as usual on special teams. Played well, as the nickel Mike and as the Will and Sam and all the different things we asked him to do. And I thought played well. So, now we're getting Chin back. That adds to the arsenal of guys. We lost AG, who's a tremendous special teams player for us and plays really well at linebacker. I think Jermaine's role will continue to ascend as he continues to play well.
All right, next question will go to Bill Voth, followed by Josh Klein.
Hey, Matt, you've been pretty open this year when you've seen things that you've wanted to improve and then practice on, like third down defense, red zone offense. Do you look at third quarter offense now as something like that? And if so, how can you improve on something like that in practice?
It's a great question. It's been something that keeps, if you get a text from me at like 2:30 in the morning, it's because I'm up thinking about that, how to improve it. We went 2 minute 2 weeks ago, we went no huddle. Last week, we tried a couple different things. I just think really at the end of the day, we just have to kind of go out and execute. I think sometimes you start spending so much time thinking of things and trying new things, and it's just like, we just got to go back and settle down and do what we do and just try to do it better. And so I'm hopeful this week that, we come out in the third quarter and we look way more composed. We move the ball. Really, it's come down to some penalties on some drives that really hurt us. So I don't know if there's anything specifically in practice we can do that we haven't already tried. We've tried having a little halftime and going back out there. I just think it's one of those things where, everyone's just going to go out and have to do their job with tremendous focus and effort. And that will hopefully lead to, more results.
Matt, I know when Derek Brown was drafted, you guys talked about how he was a complete player, not just a run stuffer, as kind of a lot of people talked about. How have you seen his pass rushing get better over the course of the season, and do you think he's improved as a run defender as well?
I think he's improved in all areas, especially for a rookie that's playing as many snaps as he has inside. Excuse me, he hasn't hit the proverbial rookie wall yet. He's done a good job of fighting through it. I think he's used his hands better. Hasn't been perfect all the time. I thought he came out of the Atlanta game and was way more resolute this week to use his hands. He's pass rushed with more violence, more effort. Not that there wasn't effort before, but more movement. I think he's improving as a pass rusher. I think one of the things is, we have to get people into a few more, long yardage situations and hopefully behind at some point so that he's, some of those guys are able to really tee off as opposed to, rush and have them, get their hands up because the ball's out quickly. But I think he's improving. I think he's going to be an outstanding player here for a long time.
Let's go to Jonathan Alexander and then Phil Orban.
Hey, Matt. I want to ask you about another one of your players, Bravion Roy. He's playing a little bit more. Not playing a lot, but playing a little bit more, probably because of Zach Kerr's injury. What do you think about the way he's looked recently?
just about the way he's looked. I thought he played well last game. We were in a lot of nickel and dime groupings because of their offense. So, but when he was out there, the first drive, he snapped off a double team, made a nice tackle for loss. I think for another rookie, I think he's doing some good things, for his role. And, Zach's a guy that as he gets healthier, he provides us something as well. We've really been playing with 3D tackles and have an FA swing inside in the nickel. But Bravion's played with good effort. I think all of our guys came out of the Atlanta game up front, knowing that we probably didn't play well enough up front as a front seven. So I thought this week there was way more focus on being in our gaps, doing our jobs, and playing hard, and I thought you saw it this week.
Hey, Matt, to what extent is running back an instinctive position? And does Curtis's background as a running back in college let you do more things with him or treat him differently than kind of just as a wide receiver playing running back?
Yeah, I mean, we play him at running back because he's a gifted running back. He's got tremendous vision. The concept of instincts to me, like, I think a lot of it is, just experience and visual, the ability to see a lot. And Curtis sees a lot. He sees holes before they open. He has a great feel for, when to press it, when to bounce it. And is a natural sort of tailback, adding to the fact that things he can do down the field, and you have a pretty complete player. And he's so versatile that he allows you to be creative with the ways that you use him.
Let's go to David Newton and then Jim Person.
Hey, man, I know we've asked in past about DJ Moore a little bit, but it just seems like the last couple of weeks he's almost disappeared from the offense. Is there any one reason you can pinpoint from that? And do you need to make an effort to get him more involved?
I'd like to see him catch more balls. I don't know that we we have so many weapons. I don't think we go out any one week and say, hey, let's get this guy the ball, let's get that guy the ball. Anyone more than the other. So I just think it's, sometimes things swing that way. Sometimes the defense is working to take somebody away, but DJ's working hard and he's working hard to get open. So I'd love to see him catch more balls. And so I think we have to, try to make sure that we're doing a good job. But at the end of the day, the passing game is one that, it's not like the run game where you just hand it to somebody, the ball's, progressing through, him to him. And sometimes it just goes that way for a little stretch. So I have no doubt that DJ will break out here soon and have a bunch of targets his way. I think he's doing a good job fighting through it.
Is separation a problem at all with him just not getting enough separation? Other team using the top back, defensive back on him or anything like that?
No. I think he's like I said, he's doing a good job. The ball hasn't gone his way. Like I told you, from last game, Joe called a go ball to him. He said alert to go ball to DJ. It looked like we had it, and all of a sudden they ran to cover 2 on the snap. Teddy had to progress off of it. So I just think it's just one of those things that's happened. Now if it happens again this week, then there might be more to it. But I think we all know that the player that we have in DJ, and I think last week, one of the first 2 or 3 throws, the ball went to him. The week before against Atlanta, the first play of the game went to him. So we recognize what he can do and want to get him involved.
Hey, Matt, is Christian's injury at all similar to Kirkwood's? And then just wondered if there's any more you can say on Ian's status.
I'm not going to get into Christian's injury. I'll let him talk about that. That's just out of the respect question. Out of respect for him and the things he said, he's wanted to kind of handle that. It is a shoulder. It's his AC. I think Kirkwood's is what, clavicle? Yeah, clavicle. So, and then with regard to the second part of the question was what, Joe? I'm sorry.
Ian Thomas's status.
Yeah, he had a family issue that he went home for today and tomorrow.
All right, let's go to Josh Klein and then Elena Getzenberg.
Matt, the last time that Christian got hurt, he came in front of the media and talked about how he didn't want the team to kind of pack it in, or he wanted to make sure that they had the right attitude while he was gone. And you talked about, getting a better team when he returned. Do you feel like this is the same type of situation, or is this just less of a big deal than the earlier injury?
I think anytime a guy's hurt, it's a big deal, no matter what their impact and role in the team is. I think for us, we've battled a lot of different injuries coming out of games this year, and we've just kind of, every time it's happened, we've just moved forward, try to take care of the guy who's hurt, and move forward with the other guys. And whether it was KK going down, or Russell's gone down, or Christian's gone down, or Justin Burris went down. Just as those guys have gone down, the other guys have stepped up. Yetor's gone down. Johnny Miller, Curtis Samuel was down for a game. I mean, we've had a lot of guys go down for time, and I think the mentality that we're trying to build is that we move forward. It's what's next. Doesn't mean we don't love the guy that's hurt. It just means that the next guy steps up, it's his opportunity, and we move forward. So I think that's the approach the team takes. We all have a ton of faith in Mike, Reggie, and Trenton, and we're going to go play.
And I just had one quick follow-up. When guys do go down, like Justin Burris went down, Sam Franklin comes in for, I think it was 2-3 games, plays basically all the reps, and now I assume if Justin stays healthy, Sam would go back to his role as a backup. Are these, for young players, like just these little tastes of playing time, how does that affect them and help them throughout, their future and the rest of their career?
Yeah, I think for me, we have young players, but I don't dwell on what people have done in the past. I dwell on what they're doing right now. And so to me, I look at the practice tape every day. I look at the games and I see, who's playing well, who's doing what, So while Sam might be young, I see him get a sack. I see him make a tackle for loss on a screen. I see him doing good things. Then I also see him doing things that aren't good, And so we're just trying to coach him. To your point, like when they have an opportunity to play and all of a sudden they have a chance to step up, I think it's less for us and more for them. A lot of times we know, hey, this guy's going to be a good player. Hey, Dennis Daly's going to be a heck of a left tackle. Sometimes the player might not know that because they haven't gotten out there. Once they finally get in there and they finally play, they recognize it. And then, what you end up having is you have a team with more and more and more experience. You have a chance to see what guys do when they get out there. I think about like Stanley Thomas Oliver hadn't really played, had been inactive, was going to play on the special teams against Atlanta. And like, all of a sudden, whatever it is, play 5, he's out there, defending Julio Jones. And, that week in practice, I said, what'd you learn? He said, basically that, it's a big deal, but I can do it, and I said, yeah, you can do it. And you're going to play a long time. So I think for the young players, it's not the fact that they're young. It's just the fact that they don't know that they can do it yet. And so, whether they've been playing here for, 20 years or they're, 2 days, to me, it's all based upon not just production, but how hard they play. Do they do their job? Are they making the plays that are supposed to come to them? Are they playing it our way? And if they do that, they're usually pretty successful. So I think a lot of our young players this year have stepped up and played successful football for us to a degree.
Matt, I was wondering, you guys have only forced 2 punts in the last 3 games. I was curious, do you attribute that to not being able to get off the field on 3rd down, or, giving up first downs on 1st and 2nd, or what do you attribute that to, and how do you go about fixing that?
We're not getting off the field on 3rd down nearly enough. The one thing we are doing is we're winning 3rd downs in the red zone and holding people to field goals at times. And so we're getting off the field. We've had a couple in the red zone, 4th down stops, which doesn't obviously require a punt, but we have to win more. We have to win more 3rd downs. And that's as you said, that could be 1st downs on 1st and 2nd down. That could be big play, all those different things. What we're doing well is we're not giving up huge explosive plays and getting way behind. We're keeping things in front of us. We're making people drive the field. We'll get a stop and keep, get ourselves off the field, or hold them to a field goal. For us to move forward and to continue to grow on defense, we have to win on 3rd down, and we have to force some turnovers. And we haven't forced enough turnovers. We got one last week at the last play of the first half, so it's not really even a turnover; it's just the end of the game. So those would be the 2 things on defense that I think. If you want to take the next step, you have to do those 2 things.
All right, guys, we have time for one more, so let's go to Chris Jenkins before we let Coach go.
Hey, Coach, it's actually a two-part question. First is about the play calling. Can you say how much of it is the aggressive play calling that is? Can you say how much it is of that goes into the flow of the game versus relying on some statistics from guys or from other people?
In terms, are you talking about in terms of like going for it on fourth down or stuff like that, or
Yeah, the fourth down, the fake punt, and things like the onside kicks. How much of that goes into statistics versus just the feel of the game for you?
I think it's all. I mean, I think it's all the feel of the game. I mean, the statistics can say go for it, but if you don't think you can get it, then it's a wasted play, right? And they might say, "Hey, don't go for it," and you might say, "No, I have a great play." So, like that 4th and 4, I said to Joe, I said, "What do you got?" He's like, "I got it. I said, "Great, let's go, let's do it." So, the onside kick, we didn't get it, but we thought we had it. The punt fake, we thought we had the week before against Atlanta. We thought we had 4th and 1 and 4th and 2. So, I think there's some base parameters like, hey, 4th and 2, 4th and 1 in this area, we're going to go for it most of the time. 4th and 3, 4th and down inside the red zone, where if we miss it, it gives them a long field. Depending on how we're playing, and then sometimes it's just the game, right? 4th and 14 that we went for, that Teddy made that amazing play. You sit there and say, a lot of teams will probably punt that ball, but as I told our guys, we're here to win. So I mean, that was our last chance to win the game. We did it, and it almost worked out. So I think there's some statistical, analytical things that help, but you have to feel really good about the plays you're going to run in those situations before you do it.
And the second part of it is the NFL is considering changing the rules on 4th down because so many teams are converting on that, and there's talks about letting teams start from their own 25. From their own 25 in lieu of an onside kick. Do you have any thoughts about that possible rule change that the NFL's been talking about?
I've never heard that, so I wouldn't even know. I wouldn't even know what to say about it, to be quite honest with you. I mean, as a fan, not as a coach, but as a fan, I think anything that brings more excitement to the game, I'm always going to be interested in. But I just haven't heard that, so I don't know specifically how I feel or anything like that. But I always like I like exciting games.